Nick Santora.
So we talked to Bob and Alex, and we talked about, of course, how real life story can't get better than the real life adventures and such. So as we try to shape a TV show around those kind of real experiences, what's kind of been the through line, aside from just the amazing true life aspect of it, but also making it have a mythology and have its own kind of course.
Well, what we've been drawing on, especially from Walter, has been his true stories, his true adventures. But we take pieces of those, and shape them into something that tells an emotional story. And that's also where we sort of draw from Walter's. How would somebody of enormous IQ but low EQ react in a situation like this? What would your problem solving be in a situation like this? What would the obstacle be? What would be the solution? Those kinds of things. And as we start to learn more about those, we see how that sort of invests into every single one of these characters, and then we see how they're we sort of extrapolate how they're going to be dealing with those issues going forward. We see a lot of development with Walter and Ralph, Paige's son. We see sort of long development with each one of these guys on the IQ EQ trade-off.
Well, I guess that was a strange thing because this is my first rodeo in terms of TV. I'd worked with the writers, I'd seen the scripts, I thought that was cool. I was on set half the time. I saw them film the same thing 20 times over with cameras at different angles, and I wondered why. And then I sat down and watched it and saw it scored and saw the blurring and the focus and the camera switch position. I'm like, that's why they did all of that. And seeing that whole process has given me a whole new respect for just how hard it is to tell a story in this medium, and a huge respect for what these guys do, where they can, as they put the script together, then surgically say, we need action here, we need emotion here, we need to make everyone cry here. And I remember them saying that as I sat in the audience when they played it on a big screen. And we came up on the part where everyone cried, and I turned around and looked at the audience, and everyone goes, oh, and it's like on cue every time. It's just amazing how tightly that's dialed in. So, I'm fascinated. I'm a guy who's a watcher or a viewer who finally got to go behind the scenes and watch it all come together. And yeah, it's personally weird for me to see me as a kid and watch my own flashbacks that only until now have happened only in my own memory. And I am far better looking on screen than I was as a kid.
What do you think of how you're portrayed on screen?
I think they did an amazing job. I think it's accurate. I think it's respectful. Walter does get angry. He does get confused. He is under pressure. He doesn't display a lot of emotion. He's incredibly focused when he does trying to solve a problem, and then quickly barks out orders. I guess the testimony of that is good friends of mine who've watched the pilot said after the first 15-20 minutes they accepted Elias as me.
Right.
From then forward. The mannerisms, the eye contact, the way they work. So I guess that means they're doing it right.
Yeah.
So.
Did you ever go watching a scene thinking like, did I do that? Am I like that?
It's not so much watching the scene, but when I sit down with the writers or with the actors and they start asking me penetrating questions about, how do you think this way, or how do you react this way, or when you get angry, what does that look like? And sometimes no one's ever asked me these questions. So I really have to stop and think and go, okay, how do I feel when that happens, or how do I react? And there's been some aha moments in that. It's certainly interesting to watch actors try to portray genius, and things I completely take for granted. They're like, no, that's not normal. People don't normally react that way. I'm like, really? Okay, I guess it's just me.
With the action adventure aspect of it, and the case of the week, how are you guys kind of approaching bringing in guest actors or actors that can come in, and are you looking for kind of bigger names for those as guest actors of the episodes where you bring somebody in like that or issues something like that?
Our storytelling might provide us with an opportunity to do some interesting casting, and we've talked about that and discussed that. CBS is incredibly supportive of our desire and their desire to put in what is sometimes called stunt casting. I don't like the term because I don't think it's a stunt. I think it's just finding the best actor for the best role, and if it's a great actor, then that's wonderful. We really see these stories each week. They're big, and there'll be opportunities to have great roles that hopefully will attract really strong actors that'll want to come in and play with us for a couple of days.
Anybody on your hit list? Anybody that you're getting?
At this stage, to be honest, no. Down the road, we have some real big roles, but we're not allowed to say until we shore it up. We don't want to make a promise and then that actor's not available, and then people get mad at us for promising. I didn't think we'd ever get him. I mean, they said we're going to take the script, and what do you guys think of Robert Patrick? We're like, yeah. We send it to Olivier too. It ain't going to happen. And then he said he wanted to do it, and I kind of danced around. This is the truth. We realized a week had passed and no one had called him to welcome him to the show.
I think because it was so
because I was like, he's not really doing it. I was like, I know you're saying he's doing it, but it's not really official. He's not going to do it. And finally, I remember I called him from my car one day, and I was like, Mr. Patrick, hi, it's Nick Santori. You really going to do my show? And he's like, yeah, let's do it, Terminator. And we were just really excited because we didn't really think it was true. And he's the greatest guy in the world to work with.
Fabulous. Real professional.
A lot of fun.
Really great energy.
Professionals look at him and go, what a professional.
Yeah, he's amazing. He really is. Yeah.
Great, thanks for
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.